This took years of commitment and sacrifice. When we wanted to make we knew the responsibility of making Wizard of Oz a wicked version of Wizard of Oz. That this was about cinema. This was about inviting the people back to a sacred place where you have to put your phone down. Well, not here, but where you have to put your phone down, and you get to see the world through someone else's eyes. We wanted to feel timeless, like it was always on your shelf. And so it started with the casting, about finding a cast that could have been the biggest stars at any moment in the history of golden Hollywood. And we had to find them now and spoke to these people now and represented an authenticity that they said now, and that these words could be spoken out of their mouth and mean different things, even though we've heard the song a million times. So she created an insane cast for us to start with. And then we had to build the world, and this crew, from the hundreds and hundreds of background artists in Munchkinland. Every wig had to be different. Every design had to, nothing could be off the shelf. This was an insane, and then you think of Emerald City, and you think of the dancers with all the stuff that they need, and the amount of crying that these girls did, and how to keep that all consistent. And then you think of the Tin Man and the Scarecrow, and how real that is, and how touchable, and that you want her to go away with the Scarecrow. Frances is just an amazing, amazing artist, and her team is incredible. Paul Tazwell, the Paul Tazwell. I don't even know half the things he created because I don't understand the words he's talking about. But it is art, and it is history, and every day we got inspired. It was like building Disneyland. I could go to her room and see all the wigs and the things and the hair and makeup and the nails and stuff, and then go to here and see all these artisans just painting little butterflies. It was insane. And you had the pink room and you had the black room, and he was doing things with black fabric I'd never seen, and he gave Elphaba dignity, that she wasn't a joke. Alex, who I worked with, for this thing a reality. If you're going to believe in the relationships, then you have to believe in the stage, which means you have to believe in the world, and yet not lose the technicolor of Oz and the wonder of Oz. And she has such a childlike mind in her, in how she sees things, and yet at the same time, she commands that crew. These were, you know how many cranes we had, these are fucking all the tools, and she wasn't even tempted to just play with a toy. She wanted to make it classic, and so we tried to stay grounded, and she was there with the girls and supported them, and we worked together in great ways, and so that's what you see on that screen with Alice. And Nathan, the wild man who breaks all the rules, I was like, oh yeah, this guy, you go in front, you tell the studio, go get him. And what he created, when you see a real fucking wizard head, I'm so sorry, I know you came to see Ari and she's not here, I'm so sorry, but this wizard head that moved and talked. And we had engineers back there, but it was art in itself, and then the train, and then you have Kiyomiko and all these things. It was just like, I can't believe this is talking about Disneyland. You want to have a 2-hour conversation about yellow brick, the textures of yellow brick, the thickness of the grouts, what yellow is it, a honey yellow, a neon yellow? He's your guy. Go hang out with him. And Nancy, oh my gosh, Nancy, you know how this is only weeks ago that we're sitting in a theater like this, tweaking everything, the door. What do you hear in the door? Do you hear the hand touch it? Do you hear her head lean on that? Is that painful to hear? How heavy is that door? How heavy is the hug? How much do you want to grasp them together? And then you have music. You have the music, and then you have the score, and the balance between those two is not like a regular movie. It is a constant of playing of rhythms and feeling how you come into something or deleting something. Everything is bespoke in this movie. Every song is thought of in this movie to only reflect what we're saying in this movie. Sound is 50% of literally 50% of the storytelling in this, and so she had to tweak every little piece of that too. And when people say they feel this movie, it is every ounce of the sound as well. So. And Pablo, our artist, he's also a musician. He has a great album. You should check it out at where. No, I'm just kidding. The hardest part about Pablo, we have a lot of visual effects in this movie. Don't get me wrong. Every part, we don't even know. You cannot. It's invisible because and those animals. You didn't even talk about the animals in the animation. Half of this movie is an animated movie with all those animals. If you don't believe those animals exist, you don't believe what Elphaba's journey is. And so every day, even on set, I'd be like, should I do it this way or this way? Is it easier for VFX? He's like, do what's best for the story. And I'd be like, yeah, but what's better for effects? And he'd be like, do what's best for the story. So sometimes that was frustrating, but when push came to shove, he knew how to get it done. He's been a legend. He is a legend. He's an icon, and to have him on this movie has been the greatest. And this guy, Myron, we spent a lot of time together. He's gone through so much in this year, through the fires and everything. But the only thing well, maybe not the only thing, but the thing in his heart that he always kept was the importance of this movie in this world. The amount of times he cried while making this movie, we won't even get into. But he has the biggest heart, and he knew the gift that we are going to give this world is some of joy and hope. And that even in the messiness of a movie two, if movie one's the fairy tale, movie two's our adult selves looking back, that could we pick up the pieces of the fairy tale? He's the believer of the fairy tale. He's the believer that yes, if we actually forgive each other and look at each other, then the possibilities are endless. Which is why even in the end credit, may not end music, that's part of the story. It's not like this emotional music. This is like a space odyssey. The future, it has so many possibilities if we know who we are and we know the truth. And that's what he came to. Yes, of course the edits. Yes, of course the moments. But it is the feeling of the heart of this movie that this man does, and balancing all those things at once. So thank you, Maya.